Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Dhena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. Those of you who have driven in from various locations all over the Bay Area, and thank you for joining us online this morning. We're going to begin today's program with one of the staples of everyday spiritual practice, which is to recite one chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Following that this morning, we're having a special session here at ISV. And please move up, these seats are way too far back. We will be discussing our strategy for 2016 for expanding the Sankirtan movement, especially in the matter of distributing books. And we'll be brainstorming best practices that we had last year so that we can augment those and places where we have room for improvement. And just after that will end at 9:30 this morning. And then after that, we'll have a break for breakfast prasadam, and two stalwart devotees who are expert teachers have flown in here from Houston, Texas. Advaita Chandra Prabhu and Kalasuda Devi Dasi will be giving a 2-day, 16-hour seminar specifically about how to help people come closer to Krishna consciousness and how to follow up. They call it congregational development. How to help people congregate around the principle of Krishna consciousness. So let's start with reciting chapter 12 of the Bhagavad Gita, which will practically guarantee us that we'll have a successful day. And this is one of the main tricks to a successful life, which is to start early with your practice of Krishna consciousness and do all the fundamentals before you do anything else. Fill those parts in before you get distracted and have to do all kinds of urgent things. Thank you. That was worth the drive down. Last year we had a very successful year here at ISV specifically in the book distribution department. We achieved more than a 10% increase overall, and had huge increases in some particular areas, especially corporate Sankirtan, and we continue to grow in the distribution of full sets of Srila Prabhupada's books as well. And there's a way in which when we have a movement, we have to move. Otherwise it's not really a movement. It becomes something else. There's a way in which one can become good at something and then take it for granted. But what inspires our movement is remembering again and again the urgency of the opportunity we've been given for attaining Krishna consciousness in this very short lifetime. If we consider it vital that we pray very deeply to Krishna every day, and that we also consider that we're in a dangerous and precarious situation in which we can be taken away from this world at any time, or that we can be attacked by Maya, and if we're not fortified, then we can succumb. If we take it as vital that we use every minute of our time in this life to stay connected to Krishna Katha and Krishna's holy name, then we'll also have impetus to give to others, because if I myself do not take it seriously, that is, the chanting of the holy names, the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, then I'll think it's not so important for others as well. If I don't think that it is imperative that I attain Krishna consciousness, then I'll think everyone else is okay, why disturb them? They're going on fairly well. Somehow they'll get by, and maybe some lifetime they'll come in contact with Krishna consciousness. So our program is dependent on our own absorption in Krishna consciousness. Because oftentimes movements come to a standstill after some time, or they take on some other kind of motivation. The members take a different idea about the movement. One can start developing a mentality of entitlement. I've been around longer, I'm entitled to some position or some extra respect, or I've done enough, let everybody else do it now. These kinds of things can sink in. Proprietorship, which room is mine. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta talked about how when he built the temple in Ottadanga, he was discouraged because his devotees started fighting over who got which room and so forth, instead of the vital spirit of Krishna consciousness, which was to think about how to save the conditioned souls, how to relieve Lord Chaitanya's anxiety. And if we can stay on that edge and remember, Jive Doi Krishna Nam Sarva Dharma Sar, that the essence of our process is in taking the holy name and distributing it to people, considering that it's vital. And the literature is so important. Anarto pasanam sakshad bhakti yoga madhoksije lokasya ajanato vidvams chakre satvata samhitam. That Vyasadeva himself compiled this because he felt this compassion for living entities, and he knew that they had to come in contact with this higher knowledge. So we have to continually cultivate this at home. The first law of book distribution, as we've codified it, is that your sadhana must be strong. It means you have to be practicing at a very high level in order to be able to affect others. And this is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that without Krishna's empowerment, no one can spread Krishna consciousness. So again and again, we have to renew that vow. We have to renew our dedication to our own practice in hearing and chanting. Every morning we have to, every afternoon we have to, every evening we have to start over again and do this. So this is our purpose at ISV, is to create an environment in which the devotees have the facility and also feel the urgency for practicing Krishna consciousness and improving themselves continually, always getting better. With that, then we have overflow that we can distribute. We have enthusiasm to go out and chant Harinam. That means if we're not experiencing that Krishna is liberating me by his names, why would I go out and chant in public? I think they already have their shop called Eternal Beauty or Eternal Happiness. There's a shop like that on University Avenue. It's already there. So they have their products. We have ours. What's the difference? We have to see the difference and feel it ourselves, so we go out and distribute it. And we also have to daily read Srila Prabhupada's books so that we understand that my intelligence is becoming clarified. I'm becoming conscious of Krishna by contact with these extraordinary books, and therefore people will feel it, they'll sense it in my voice when I speak to them, that this is important, please take it. That's what makes the difference. So congratulations to all the devotees for continually stepping up. Each year it becomes a more advanced class, a more advanced endeavor to outdo what we did in the last year. And that's what a movement is. We have to continually be maturing in our own practices, and we have to continually pursue higher goals for the advancement of Krishna consciousness. And in those two activities, advancing our own practice and our outreach simultaneously, in that tension, our overall movement grows. And not only that, we have something to export to the world, which is very important because our individual centers are meant to give something to the rest of the world. Our small center here at ISV is meant to, we are meant to come together and develop so that we have something to offer others, some spiritual technology, some spirit of entrepreneurialism, and actual techniques and tips that we can share with others. And we should always be eager and hungry to take in the tips and inspirations from others who are doing the same thing elsewhere. And in this way, there's unity and diversity. The individual units are working hard, but we work towards the overall advancement of Krishna consciousness without considering our own achievements to be all important. So, another really big year for North America as well. The devotees rallied all over the world, and they came up with a 10% increase for 2016. It was reported at 8%, but Savas told me that some people were late with their checks. So we were at about 10% increase. And we've been doing that consistently over the last 5 years. The first 2 years were at 28.5, and then 22 something, and then 12 something, and then 10. And so growing at this rate over the last 5 or so years, and a little bit before that, there was a little momentum before we actually officially organized into one team with a team goal for North America. We've achieved 165% increase in book distribution for North America. And now other places are taking notice and asking, what is the way in which we've done this in North America? So, congratulations to everybody. Hare Krishna. A couple of just basic points before we go into more details about our goals coming up for 2015 is that we have mission, vision, and culture. Our mission, for instance, in this particular venue is to distribute books. When we're talking about Sankirtan, distribute books and expand and improve the way in which we present Harinam to the world. And we have this vision also of making people Krishna conscious, helping bring them closer, step by step, filling the gaps so that people can come closer to Krishna consciousness when we do touch them with the literature and with the holy name. And then thirdly, there's the culture. And I consider this the most important, how we do it. And within that, there's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions in which he said that the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of the devotees. And he also gave this instruction, Trinadapi sunichena, toror api suhishnuna, amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. That one should learn how to be humble, how to be tolerant, how to give respect to others, and how to not take respect for oneself. And this is the culture. What's most important in our development is how we learn to interact with the devotees, how we learn to show respect for other living entities, and especially how we apply the etiquette of Krishna consciousness in the realm of other devotees, giving all respect to advanced devotees, to all devotees, but there are hierarchies of respect and understanding. This is vitally important that when people come into our Sangha that they feel welcomed, that they feel encouraged and cared for. Welcome, cared for, transformed. They should feel transformed. And we should do everything expertly. If we're going to do a program, although we may not be expert when we start, our goal should be that it should be done perfectly and expertly. We should always be trending towards that. And nobody can say, I'm doing everything perfectly now. And if you do say that, then you're dead in the water. So you got no place else to go. But we should always be hungry and humble and feel that my rounds are way far from perfect. I need to do it better. My study is way far from perfect. The way I treat other devotees needs refinement. And in all the programs that we produce, whether it's a Sunday program or the book distribution program or taking care of the book room, we should always be thinking, how can I do it expertly? Come to the perfect stage of presenting it. And this is the culture behind what we're doing, which is vitally important. And while we're doing it, we should have these ethos that humility and tolerance in dealing with others, giving respect, are the topmost jewels for the devotee to wear. They're the ornaments. And then also, if we concentrate on this culture, then our vision and mission will be easily attained, much more easily attained, and also be worth attaining. Because sometimes we sacrifice, there's a way in which an organization can sacrifice the dealings between its members for the sake of the mission and the vision. And then we become mechanical and we lose something very important. So as far as ISV goes, one of the main goals is to make this culture where people feel welcomed, where they feel that they're transformed and they're cared for. People need to feel cared for. And that extends when we go out to distribute Krishna consciousness to other people. They should feel cared for. They should feel that these people actually care about me. And we should become expert. So those are a few preliminary thoughts about the basis of our movement, that we have to have this intense desire to advance ourselves and an awareness of how important it is. And with that urgency, we should take it out to others, but we should do it in a cultured way, in a way where we leave people with a good impression, where we actually practice the principles we read about in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita this morning, where we don't disturb others and we're not disturbed by others, where we're tolerant and so forth. How come you're sitting way back there, Molani? But can you sit over here? Because if I can't see, I don't know what's going on. Sure. So, one of the most powerful means of advancing any movement is to come together like we are this morning. And we welcome everybody who's watching online this morning to participate as well. And to brainstorm. Ramananda, can you take this out? I think it's blocking the energy. Wrong feng shui. Wrong vastu. Is to come together and brainstorm. The mastermind means all the minds together where we've been performing these activities to think about ways in which we can improve, what's worked well and where there's room for improvement. So we're going to do that just after Molani gives us a report about what we did last year. Let's have a look at it graphically and see where we excelled, where we put our energy, and that will give us an idea of where we can move forward and improve for 2016. While she's getting the slide ready, any comments, reflection from what we already talked about this morning so far? But you got to be quick because she's working fast. Go ahead, Kameshwari. Make it quick.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So one point that I was thinking is what you mentioned, that we should treat devotees like they should, with respect, and we should be careful in the Vaishnava etiquette. Similarly, when we go out for book distribution, actually we should also make sure that people feel welcome and cared for, that actually we are really caring for their spiritual life. That's why we are there, and with that intention actually we go out and distribute books.
Thank you very much. That really helps. And now over to Malini. She's going to give us an overview of 2015.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, for 2015, our overall strategy, when we started this meeting in January last year, this was our strategy that we wanted to distribute 7,000 hardbound Gitas, 25,000 softbound Gitas, and we had a goal of distributing 315 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, 100 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets, and so that we can have our 10% increase with BBT. And the actual results, I have just mainly put for the sets because that's the main chunk of it. So it is, we distributed about 346 Srimad Bhagavatam sets and 108 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets, which brings a total of 454 sets last year. And we also distributed about close to 39,200 Bhagavad Gitas last year.
Maybe we could just take 1 second and meditate on where they all are right now. I mean, close your eyes. Right now, in various locations all over the world, there are an extra 454 sets of Chaitanya Charitamritas and Srimad Bhagavatams. Where are they sitting? What effect are they having on people? And now think about the 40,000 Bhagavad Gitas that were distributed. If we had 40,000 Bhagavad Gitas in this room piled up, I don't know if we'd have much room in here. There are many, many, many boxes that came and went out of here. And now those individual books are in various places all over the Bay Area. Okay, Hare Krishna.
So for 2016, as His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu was mentioning, we wanted to have another 10% increase. So which means that we wanted to have, we wanted to pay $188,100 to BBT, which would be $17,000 more than what we paid last year. So we were thinking what would be our strategy for 2016. We just have to depend on Lord Chaitanya, that's the first and foremost thing. And with regards to sets, we wanted to increase it to 425 sets. Last year we did 415 total, but we want to keep it as a modest goal of 425, and then we can smash it as we needed. And out of the 425, we wanted to see if we can do 325 Srimad Bhagavatam and 100 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. This year we also want to increase the number of hardbound books, that Mahabig books, and we had a major breakthrough this year, going out and distributing Mahabig books. So rest of them we wanted to do Bhagavad Gitas and Mahabig books going to the year. And we also want to have a special launch for distributing Laghu Bhagavatamrita, which is coming up this year soon. So these are just the high-level goals for this year.
Can I mention something about that Laghu Bhagavatamrita? Historically, which is kind of an amazing fact, the BBT has not had a marketing department because they simply depended on sending out books to the temples who will sell them. It's not a very refined method. So they started a marketing department this last year, and we're part of it here at ISV. And to help get it defined and develop means of distributing books really quickly to large numbers of people using all kinds of marketing techniques. One of the ways that we're going to practice this year is through distributing the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, which is a new presentation. Of course, it's Rupa Goswami's book. It's a very important book in our Gaudiya Vaishnava canon, and it's virtually unknown to the general mass of devotees. So that gives us a good test case for our, this is like an MBA project, to sell. We've been given 900 Lagu Bhagavatamritas to see how efficiently and quickly we can sell them using all our resources. And in the process of doing that, developing new systems, channels through which we can sell many other different kinds of books and expand our own outreach for the kinds of books we're selling now. Back to you. Oh, by the way, if anybody who's listening would like to have a copy of Lagu Bhagavatamrita before we even start our marketing campaign, let us know, because it's a rare book, very rare. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay. Everyone here, we can start a sign up for the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, anybody online. But don't take them all, because we still want to try to sell a few. Okay. How many altogether? Well, I think there was 3,000 and we took 900. Or maybe there was 4,000, something like that. It's an individual book. How many are there? There's one book. One book, the Lagu Bhagavatamrita. It's a posthumous presentation from His Grace Gopi Puranadana Prabhu. He had translated that and then edited by none other than our very own Mukunda Dato, the Pandit Prabhu. So.
Prabhuji, now we can start the brainstorming. We wanted to discuss what worked last year, if devotees want to share, and what we can improve for this year. I actually sent out an email for devotees to put in some comments ahead of time. So we already had a lot of devotees put in their ideas, what worked well and what needs to be improved.
That's a lot. But we can't even see that practically, right? How will we have... So, shall we read through these first? Or should we just brainstorm fresh and then fresh? Okay, let's go fresh. How about if you start a new page and you type in what we do? Is that possible? Do you want a little table to use?
No, Prabhuji, this is fine.
That's fine? Okay. One thing I found out that I'm interested in, we collect a lot of Lakshmi here that all goes towards book distribution, and much of it gets spent on shipping. A large percentage of it gets spent on shipping. And I found out that the Los Angeles Temple, I have a dream, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, of shocking the LA community one year, and surpassing their scores from this tiny little temple. But I found out recently that we spend a lot of our Lakshmi on shipping, and they don't, because they live right on top of the BBT warehouse. So there's no shipping charges for them. For us, we spend tens of thousands of dollars every year that go into shipping and don't get recorded as part of our overall score. So I'm looking to supply chain efficiencies and, I don't know, maybe get our own BBT truck or something like that. Somebody wants to be a truck driver. I don't know if we could save money, or we could find some way that we could cut our shipping costs by 25, 50%, 75%. I don't know how we could do it, but if we could find out a way to do that and crunch the numbers, I think that we could get a big increase. SKP?
In our last meeting, you mentioned that we can save a lot of money in the shipping. Shashishekar Prabhu and Vamshi Mohan Prabhu, they volunteered that maybe 2 months once they can go and get books for us. but logistics we have to work it out.
Like the rent a truck?
Yeah, we have already have a truck Prabhu with 1 hour devotee.
We have a truck?
Yeah. He's in Fremont. Jagannath Prabhu.
A big truck? 18-wheeler?
No.
Oh, pickup truck. Okay, well, you have to do the logistics and see if it's worth driving a pickup truck, or whether you want to rent a larger truck, or whatever it is. But do all that and look at it. If we could save percentages, double-digit percentages, that would be a huge increase for us right there. We could get our 10% right off of that. Okay, what else? Average shipping costs, Malini? How much SKP?
It's double the price.
Okay, so give an example. Bhagavad Gita costs?
So Bhagavad Gita, one case costs us to ship about $15 to $20.
And how much is the case itself?
The case itself is... It depends, Prabhuji, if it's soft or hard, but maybe around $55 to $60. And then shipping is about $15 to $20. If you're using our own shipping, if it is BBT, it could be $20 to $25 also.
Okay.
Taxes, there is taxes.
Taxes, I don't think we can avoid, but
Srimad Bhagavatam is $180 and without shipping. And with shipping it is $220.
okay. So we could get economies there. Harivangsa?
I was just thinking that, is it possible to offload most of the shipping to LA, like when we get the orders instead of we shipping? I know we do that, but a lot of, we can offload that to LA and they can ship for us, but it gets counted in our scores because, we are just trying to reduce the Lakshmi from our point from shipping point of view. Or if there is a warehouse which is outside California so that we don't have to pay a lot of taxes also. Amazon policy, Amazon way of doing it.
I didn't quite catch oh, you mean when the shipment comes from Singapore or wherever, they just bring it here rather than go straight to
So
LA?
suppose somebody is asking us to ship Bhagavatam sets from ISV, and I don't know the details, but maybe we have to pay a lot of shipping, but instead of we shipping, LA ships it, like that.
Prabhuji, we are already doing that. Prabhuji, we are already doing that because we have with express shipping. So Prabhu picks up the Bhagavatams from the BBT warehouse and then he's doing it for us.
And that's made a huge difference.
Yes.
Because we have Vedavit Prabhu, who's, ISV, from ISV, and he's so dedicated to book distribution. I mean, he sacrifices his own time and goes and ships books. So we've saved a lot in that way. And we need to find other ways to save money off of the shipping. Radhakripa and then Ramananda.
Maharaj, I think you mentioned already, but I was just thinking typically like Amazon, what they are doing it, they are having their fulfillment center in each cities. That's how they ship it fast. So I don't know whether our printing is happening in LA. If it is happening, let's say in China, then the direct shipment, what comes to them, a part of it, if we could forecast it correctly, it directly comes to us.
One conversation at a time for the brainstorming. Go ahead.
So if they, rather than shipping it to LA, that original shipment or part of it comes directly to us in our warehouse, that probably can directly save that money.
Yeah, we need to look in. Who's taking the notes? Okay, so that we need to do research on. I think that there should be a team of researchers that look into this. I met a devotee in Houston also who specifically deals with supply chain economics. Ramananda and then Hansa. Well, Hansa Priya, because she's got to run back in the kitchen, but she's got an idea.
So I volunteer looking into the FedEx shipping because at my work we have a service center and where we get the discount.
Okay.
So I don't know what that would be, but if we get the FedEx, agency or those Indian people, those who have post mails and stuff.
Okay.
We can probably, partner with them or something.
Let's look into it. I know the first BTG magazine was stapled together using staple from the welfare office where Satsrup free staples. Anyway, any ideas we can put into the team? We should name the team and have somebody, a research group for the first quarter, put everything into it to find out all the different options, what's possible and what's not.
And other thing, I wanted to just bring it up that Dayanidhi is a commercial truck driver.
Who is?
Dayanidhi Prabhu.
Yeah, Dayanidhi Prabhu we could get him to go down and back. If you're listening, Dayanidhi Prabhu, we need you. Ramananda and then Bali?
A couple of points. One is I'm just curious how much it costs to ship a typical pallet of books.
We should have these numbers
Around
clearly.
$1,000.
That's part of the, one of the goals that we should have is to crunch these numbers clearly.
The other thing is that if shipping is costing a lot, I'm just throwing an idea there. One point is you can explore. I'm sure in companies like Amazon they pay a lot less for shipping. All they have. If can explore something selling through Amazon the same books so that we can get less in shipping, even though we pay some commission to Amazon in the process.
Okay, thank you very much. Bali?
So I was also thinking because the A1 self-storage, if you take long term, they charge like $350, maximum $300 per month for storage of 10 by 10 or 15 by 10 square feet. Because if you get a bunch of stuff, one person goes in every 3 months in a truck, I think that will be more viable and less cost way approach. And then if you pay $350, so depends on how many months we can, because our book room is small, if you cannot bunch of 100 or 200 cases, it will be very difficult. So either way, bring 3 times in a year or quarterly, every quarter from LA by U-Haul truck and put it in the A1 self-storage, those whole things. So that would, basically someone has to really calculate how much you are paying right now, how much those things will cost, driver, fuel and all. Then we should come with the approach which is less expensive. That's
Very good. Could also consider that devotees have garage space. I mean, there are places where devotees have huge houses, have huge garages, and they can actually store two months worth of books, and why not? And save on that. So we should look into that option as well. SKP and then Harivamsha.
The BBT didn't agree to use the USPS shipping, Prabhu.
Correct.
The USPS shipping is very cheaper than UPS shipping. So USPS use the media mail, which is way less than that. So the Vedavit Prabhu use the USPS shipping.
And the reason is because they don't have the manpower on their side. It's much easier for UPS, right? USPS means they have to do a lot of extra work. So that's another option that we can look at, is having our own people down in Los Angeles, besides Vedavit, helping with the BBT process, shipping. Yeah. Go ahead.
We can also have, because local warehouses, as you mentioned, that devotees may have large houses and garage and empty spaces, so Pleasanton, Dublin, San Ramon can have a small center, Fremont can have, so that it is distributed, and if some requests come, we don't have to ship from, it could be fast also, because one more aspect of shipping is reducing the time and logistics. So if it is distributed, it may work out well.
In other words, because you're doing a lot of books in Pleasanton, see what percentage of books you're doing down there and keep them down there so the devotees don't have to come all the way up here and then go all the way back, something like that?
Last year, Haladhara Prabhu actually did that. He took like 50-60 cases of Bhagavad Gita and he stored it in his garage. And he used to take off directly from Dublin to San Francisco. And I think that option worked well. So I think
That could be that model could be expanded.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. Prikishori? There's an idea from the internet. Go ahead.
This message is from Leena Singh, and she's saying that I would like to have a copy of Laghu Bhagavatamrita.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Meena.
Okay, there
You
is
got
another-
it. Somebody's taking the record of it. Okay. We
There
should
is-
have a separate sheet somewhere someone's taking down. We might sell them all out this morning. There's only 899 to go, so if you
Harivamsha
want
Prabhu
luck-
wants one.
Okay, 2.
Okay, there is another comment.
Another comment?
This is from Sudeep Prabhu.
Sudeep.
One suggestion is, as someone said, to use Amazon service. While Amazon will cost much more, but if we use ISV link on Amazon, something DVD Prabhu had mentioned, we can save.
I can't
some
really hear
Lakshmi
you.
that way.
For some reason, the articulation's not coming through.
Okay.
Can you?
I'll repeat this message. One suggestion is, as someone said to use Amazon service, while Amazon will cost much more, but if we use ISV link on Amazon, we have a separate link on Amazon called Amazon Small, and it's for the tax exempt. It's for a non-profit organization. So we have some link there for
Okay.
ISV. So he's referring to that link there. If we use ISV link on Amazon, something Damodar Vamsidhari Prabhu had mentioned, we can save some Lakshmi that way.
Okay. We'll look into it. Put it on the list. Everything's considered in the brainstorming. We don't, at this point in the brainstorming, we don't have to analyze each thing and say its merits or demerits. We just put it on the board. Okay? So the floor is open for anything, not just shipping or anything. I just happen to go on that tangent. But what things, where were there room for improvement last year? Or what ideas did you see that you wanted to get implemented, but we just didn't have time because the momentum was carrying us forward? Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. One thing in Cisco, we are running the corporate Gita program. So last 1 year, we have seen increase from a couple of tens, like 50 people. Right now we have 500 people in the Ilyas Gita Club. So I was thinking, somehow we can start distributing Srimad Bhagavatam or, Bhagavad Gita to them, because it's a huge mailer right now in Cisco.
Such a good point. And in an earlier, smaller session where we had been ratifying some of the goals for the year, we had come up with a battle cry for 2016. And it has to do with some research I've been doing into marketing, in which the author of a particular book I read advocates that one of the most efficient ways to market anything is through your own tribe. And therefore, those who want to market should be continually growing their tribe. What is our motto for this year? Build the tribe. So your point is well taken, that actually sets, especially, move by recommendation from one person to the next. And when you have groups like this, then the sets go out very readily. So building the tribe means networking with people throughout the year and bringing them closer, making friends, developing organizations within the organization. Right, Sukeshri? You do that a lot? Building your tribe. You already have so many people, you're connected with so many people like you, that all you have to do is go over and say, hey, how about a set? And they'll go, sure, because you already have that relationship with them. So building the tribe and finding these places where the tribes are already gathered, and then trying to increase them. I know that's one of the ways that Shraddha and Mukaravinda have been very successful in corporate. Throughout the year, they're constantly networking and building their tribes at Oracle and Intel and all these other places, so that when it comes to the end of the year, people are very much willing to participate in the annual marathon. Other ideas? Yes. Yes, coming out from the kitchen.
So the same thing Shraddha does in Mukharvinda. Actually, I had a practical realization. December is a very busy month for us in the corporate because we are doing FY16 planning and also budget and year-end closing. So I didn't really have much time to do the book distribution, but I had taken a vow of 250. So one day I just asked Malini if she can send me the Gita form, and I just went for like literally half an hour, talked with a few of the friends, passed around, and I said, today is Thursday, I'll come back next Wednesday and pick up those forms. And I told them about that these are the books on knowledge and everything. And I went and picked up the forms, and I practically worked even an hour to do the 250 books. So I just wanted to say that building the relationship over the year and then reaching out to them once, it's really much more powerful. So I don't have
Very nice. This is a revelation. You know, what Shraddha, Mukharvin, and Hansapriya are doing can be replicated in all places. If we have a template through which the devotees can learn how through the year, most of the year, to build their tribe, and then at the end of the year, in a simple and very kind of harmonious way, present them with the opportunity to help, then I think we can expand that corporate program unlimitedly. Shiva Kumar.
Yeah, Prabhuji, this is regarding the shipping thing. I was thinking, we're exploring ideas about saving the shipping cost for us, but how about saving the shipping cost for the devotees, to whom we ship? For example, we ship sets to people in the East Coast. Sometimes they want SB set, and we do it on behalf of them. I was thinking, right, like instead of we shipping it to them, is it possible to have something like a local temple pickup option? Like how the corporates have, right, retailers have local store pickup option, right? Is there a possibility they can pick up from the local ISKCON temple?
Definitely, we can save on that. Yes.
Actually, wherever you ship from, it costs $25 for medium mail. So, I mean, if it is not in the local center, if they are not dropping, if you are shipping, it costs the same. Whether you ship from East Coast or you ship from here.
But you were suggesting maybe that they got bulk order from Los Angeles and the shipping was less than ours selling shipping an individual.
My idea is if somebody is there in the East Coast, if they can pick up the temple from the local ISKCON temple available in that area.
But they're saying they already paid for the shipping, so it has to be added on. In other words, if New Jersey got a shipment from Los Angeles, they paid for the 25, so they have to pass on that cost somewhere. Is that correct?
I was suggesting if some devotee orders online or calls us to ship a set of Bhagavatam, if they are not very near to the center, if the center has to ship again, it costs the same. Whether we ship or they ship, it costs the same.
I see.
And also the price varies, Prabhu. The New Jersey temple, they sell it for 350, 400, we don't know. But our price is way better. I mean to say, that's why the people come to.
But Prabhuji, even if they pick up from the local temple in New Jersey,
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. One thing I was hearing all the conversation, thank you so much. Yeah, so maybe Prabhu, if we can get, all of us have done so much of things in our karmic life of optimizing this whole supply chain. If we can get an overview of how books are getting printed, shipped, locally distributed to distribution centers. So we're calling Los Angeles as more like a distribution center. And from there, it's going into different spokes. Basically, that becomes a hub, and then there are different spokes. Books are going to Chicago, Los Angeles, ISV and other places. If we can understand various overview, maybe we can come up with some other ideas also.
So the proposal is to form an expert team, devotees that have experience in this, and to do an exhaustive research project to see the various options where we could get savings. So the team to be named. There are a couple devotees that I have to track down, but as I mentioned earlier, in traveling around, I've met some devotees. I think one of them was from Seattle, and I met him in Houston, who is does this for a living for companies. And if we put together a team like that in the next week or so, and we can start the research and come up with something by the first quarter where we can find economies, I think that would be a good increase. At least we'll know all the options. Bali and then Gandharvika.
I have two proposals for, I think last year also I made that one, but I don't think we did implement. Regarding the Facebook advertisement promotion, because the social media is pretty high. So what the Facebook does is, there are three options. One is you wanted to just view, let's say we wanted to give Gita in motel or some very nice campaign or 2-3 campaigns. So what it does, if you click, just click without any action, then you pay 2 cents or 1 cent, depends on how much it is going. If somebody not only clicks but buys from us as a service selling, then we pay a little money to the Facebook. But if you really run it continuously, there are many things now Facebook has improved from quarter to quarter. There are sales growing rapidly within mobile as well as through desktop. So that is really a good option we can try, because the money spent is very less. Even in $100, you can run 2 months of advertisement for 200,000 people. It can go. Maybe 20, the more amount of people click, that much money we only pay. So that's also a good one to try. And I have my second observations to accelerate the Gita distribution is, we have many email generations right now, almost 10,000 or 5,000, whatever it is. So there are a lot of people who are doing at the memorial for their parents or some wedding or many other things. In India, they do a custom page to celebrate their father or mother, just to dedicate that, okay, on behalf of it, we are distributing Gita, like 400 or 500 copies, which sells faster, especially in the Indian communities. And they can themselves distribute those books. We just put, a little bit their name in one of the pages and the beginning that it is celebrated to show Dr. Patel's wife or whatsoever. So that could be one idea which I'm thinking these two.
Great. Great idea. Another thing that came up when I was in Houston at the Temple President's meeting, I think Yogeshwar Prabhu was mentioning how some companies that publish books and think about how to do things are excelling in different ways. Mentioned Shambhala Books. They put a bookmark in every book that they sell, and in it is a way to get in contact with them for more books. And for a long time we were putting stamps. In fact, we had a lot of stamping parties going on. Bookmarks might be also something that we could do, a really well-designed, colorful bookmark that goes out with every book. Because each one, we have 43,000 Gitas last year. If we have 43,000 bookmarks that have our contact information and maybe some special offer, we could have a place that people could get back to us and we could help grow our tribe, because that's our main focus, grow the tribe, get more people in who are interested. Other ideas?
Sorry, Mataji, that's not distributing books at event in wedding. It is building one custom page dedicated for any events.
Custom page. Shiva Kumar and then Damodar.
Prabhuji, I was also thinking about contacting the local bhajan groups. Like for example, we have Bhakti Virsha program in our ISKCON community, right? There are other groups like the Sai Bhajan groups, which we found in Kupati. There is a big group of people who gather for every week for just singing bhajans on Sai. So we happened to tap into one of them to distribute SB set, and through them, we were able to reach the entire network of the devotees, and they were very open to taking SB sets.
I like that idea a lot. That goes along with the theme of growing the tribe, looking outside into other groups. Damodar Prabhu has been especially a pioneer in this, reaching out to all kinds of like-minded groups all over the Bay Area, and in that way we're growing. But targeting these groups, making lists of places that we could grow the tribe by making alliances. And I do remember that when we were up in Sacramento that time, you stopped by one house. They were devotees of Sai Baba, remember? And as soon as you walked in, they wanted to have kirtan, and they took a set of Bhagavatams. And, you know, there's lots of people out there that are that have some spiritual practice and identity and so forth, and we can easily connect with them. Damodar.
One thing, Prabhu, I was analyzing as to, say, for example, most of the content which gets shared on book distribution is book distributors sharing the success stories of so many books got distributed. Say, for example, when I analyze Shastrakrit, Prabhu, very regularly, Prabhu shares where the numbers, where books are getting distributed. What we were thinking of was if we can have a encouragement venue where we try to hear stories from people who receive the book. So far, the focus has been who is distributing the book. But if we change it back on creating a platform for people who receive the book and they get a card, if you want to share how did you liked it, what are the other things which we can help you, some kind of support group can be built on top of it.
We've had the excellent idea, and I think for the next like 3 minutes we can brainstorm that. We did have a website for a while. Do you remember? No, it was a specific, like in Toronto, I think they did one that's called I Got a Book on the Street, and then we had one here. Do you remember what it was called?
Yes, we have.
We had one, and the idea was towards that. It needs a little more development. Anyway, there were some more ideas in this venue, but I think it's a great idea.
I just wanted to actually say the same thing as Prabhuji is mentioning, because I'm actually doing short videos of all the people who have taken Srimad Bhagavatams, and I mean there are two of them who were just amazing, and one of them actually already sent in, but two more I have to do. And she just said that for the past, she's a mom of a single child, and she said for the past almost 25 years she's really not slept well. And she started reading Bhagavatam, and she's found so much peace in her life.
Fell asleep? No.
She says that, you know, her worries have reduced, and the most important part is her son is doing his, you know, master's in constitutional law in Stanford University, and he meets all people like, you know, the president and Clintons and stuff like that. So he's in a very influential position, and she said that the fact is, my son is doing the third book already. And so I was just going to go talk to him, and, you know, so I was just thinking that in just out of way, she works with me. And, you know, when we do the short videos and put it on the website, I was thinking that that'll be more helpful. I just wanted to add to Prabhuji.
A couple things. One is that I was thinking that if we had, after every MSF, we also produce a little video that strings together all the successes. Like previously, we used to have a postcard that would come out before, but then we decided to have it come out after to say what the success was. But nowadays people can look at a video, and if it was like a 2-minute video that strung together all the different little clips of successes and things like that. So maybe that's something we could add on for 2016. Yeah.
Actually, the video, Prabhu, which goes along, like I was shooting on time whenever I meet the people when they take testimonial, it is very affecting to the people. And because I just, Cupertino, we distributed many sets, Prabhu. In the morning, I went to drop my niece. Then I met a lady there. She said, oh, you gave me a set, and she's having a disability for a kid. And we told her that we keep Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto next to your bed, and it will change your vision, and it protects your children or kid. Then she's doing from past 3 weeks now, and she's a patient for Sukeshwari Mataji now. And she said, consciously I can see my kid is improved a lot. And she thanked 3 times to me, saying that thanks for coming in. So she's also doing a follow-up program to come for their son's birthday to a kirtan and installation ceremony. So this building the tribe, as you mentioned, which helps a lot, and the follow-up also.
I think also that when we take these little videos, we should get expert advice from somebody like Nrsingananda Prabhu to find out if we need a release form, because to rebroadcast people's images and also videos and things like that may require that. You do.
especially when we are mentioning about anybody's disability or anybody's personal thing, and if they are showing the child, I know that at the county we do take a permission form, but if it was, just somebody telling their own thing, I'm not too sure. But surely in this case, because we'll be taught,
Yeah, we do this a lot, where like somebody's distributing, we're taking a video, and next thing it's up on the internet, and they didn't give their permission. We do have to get permission for that. So that's something that we should professionalize this thing, rather than doing it sort of. Yes.
I just had a question. So the testimonials are just exclusively videos, or people also writing their, I read the book, so now I have this feedback, because it could either be, immediately right after they get the book, I enjoy the experience of getting the book, but what about after they read the book? So I mean.
I think, good point. And we should look into all means of getting feedback. One of the things I thought, for instance, when we go out and we do our mini festivals, it would be really helpful to have some professional questions to ask people. What did you think of this? What do you think of that? After we distribute books to people, it would be really nice to say, what was your experience? Were you left with a good impression? Agree, strongly agree, disagree, these kinds of things. Okay, so we brainstormed this in another group, and Radhakripa Prabhu is working on something for the mini festivals, but I think in all venues, the more feedback that we can get from people to find out how they're receiving it and what they're thinking about it gives us a lot of information that we can work with.
I was just thinking that regarding the after they get the book, if you want people to give their testimonials after they read the book, or after a certain period of time, I guess, like the contact collection system has to be, well in place, so that you can send out an email that after 3 months, 6 months, that says, so you got the book, did you read it? Like, how did you like, things like that.
Yes. Is that through ISKCON Direct Connect, or what do we call it? ISV Connect. Using Salesforce. And we have what?
Vedic Nectar Drops also.
Vedic Nectar Drops.
Actually, I had a similar point, because like in Amazon or any other place where you get a product, because it is so seamless to write your reviews, it's just a click away. So yes, we can have a web page or a very easy system in Facebook, any channel where they can write their reviews. And also if we have their contacts, like in Vedic Nectar Drops, every weekly, bi-weekly, they are getting mails, and people respond also that they are liking the post. So if we, every 3 months, every 4 months, we send them, you got the book, what do you feel about it? And we can have a very simple, customized form, which is very seamless, just a click away, like they have buy with a click, just a click away, and we can then crunch this and make a chart, and then crunch those numbers also.
Every time I fly in United, they send me an email the next day and say, what was your experience like? And also Apple, whenever I go on their support line, they always send me a follow-up email saying, how was the support? Did you like it? And we could implement something similar, right?
Just to finish that chain of thought again, as she mentioned, the contact collection is very, very crucial. I mean, kind of have to be in the back of the mind that I know Shivakumar Prabhu has been so very, whenever he goes, he collects a bunch of contacts and immediately he mails it. And actually, thanks to Prabhu, we get a lot of subscription also, because people then read and respond. So I think that can be at the back of the mind, that whoever we meet, get the books, at least we can, would you like to give your contacts? And then we have the whole back end ready to enter the contacts. I mean, that has been streamlined. So if we can enter, then the follow-up can be
I
done.
suggest that to improve that, we could have another category of goal for this year, pursuant with the idea of building the tribe, in which we see how many contacts we collect also. So that should be measured, along with how many books we distribute, how many contacts did we collect, right?
Yes, numbers.
Numbers of contacts, yeah.
Yeah, Maharaj. One thing I have noticed that, in specific downtowns like Mountain View downtown, there are very nice bookstores. And some of them are, like there is East and West, which is a totally spiritual, they sell spiritual stuff. And they have a special section on religious books. And I see, Bhagavad Gita, like our Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam are not displayed there. So if we can talk to them and make sure, our sets are displayed there, I think that, because hundreds of people visit those stores, and there are other, various spiritual books on yogas and stuff like that. So I think it's
So there should be a team, just like we have a smart box team that looks into those stores. Anyway, I won't say more about that because we'll just keep rolling as far as comments go. Something from the internet?
Okay. Manjula Kantamataji is saying, so sending my ideas to you. Number one, we can consider attending more events all year round rather than just doing events closer to August. There are many events we miss taping because we are focused on doing door-to-door sets in the first half of the year. It's especially motivating for the kids to visit events and do Bhagavad Gitas.
And if I'm not incorrect, Manjula Kanta is the
She's
czar,
the event coordinator.
the event czar, right? Yeah, so that's a very good point. And this is one of the ways that we could get increase here and everywhere else. Generally, as I was mentioning, like for instance in India, here's what their graph looks like for book distribution of the year. Because it's all December. And if we can get events going and a wider range of devotees going out earlier with interesting programs, one of our goals this year is to have a much bigger first half than we did last year. Increased by 15-20%. Keep going.
So we can consider some innovative way of attaching large advertising stickers, advertise BG sponsorship, CC sets, etc., different stickers to our Janmashtami Prasadam packets as we have a huge crowd visiting us. We can also use them all year round, even on our Harinam packets. These are at low advertising cost.
I like it. 10,000 people, we should have something, she was saying, to connect them to the books and also add to the tribe, right? Are they all getting added to the tribe? Thinking about, keep going.
In the same context, Prabhu, in our website, Shalva Prabhu said that to subscribe to our newsletter or emails, the system is very complicated. It's not very simple. So he said, make it simplified, just people can love it.
This is another area where huge room for improvement. We had a very lengthy section at the Temple President's meeting by Gopal Bhatta Prabhu about websites. And he looked at every website, and we didn't rank, by the way. We didn't even make it into the top 10 or anything like that. Most ISKCON websites are oriented just towards the congregation. They're not oriented to the outside world, and they don't have, anyway, let me put it like this. It's a huge room for improvement in our website. We're missing so many people. We don't even know how many people we're missing because they might look at it and then go somewhere else and we might not catch them.
I was just thinking that there is a website, but we put our temple website in the books. But I think we should have a very vibrant isvbooks.com. Like it's just for the books. Like when they buy the book, they go to that website and there is library, there are study groups, everything, it's just around the books.
Yeah.
So, and then the temple website is separate. Like
That's the idea. When you're doing websites or any kind of marketing, you want to think about who you're trying to connect to. Seth Godin, who writes a lot about marketing in the modern age, says that don't try to be all things to all people. Those days are gone. But try to find your particular segments and then brand and specifically to reach them. Did you have something more to say about the website? Go ahead.
There is one from the internet from Sundaranda Prabhu that one thing we will...
Speak a little slowly because... Sorry.
One thing we will be looking into weekday book distribution at Stanford and follow up with Bhakti Yoga Club programs at Stanford University. And aside from this, what she was saying about the festivals, that I think during August, the summertime is when the kids are off school. So I think it becomes easier to go for festivals, if I'm correct. So I don't know, I guess an adult team or a kids team that is almost dedicated to going to festivals would be nice. I mean, that's what I thought. Not just summer.
Yes. Nice points. Go ahead, Sukeshri, and then Shiva
Prabhuji,
Kumar.
when he said about bookstore, I just remembered that, libraries, I'm not too sure if there's already a set of devotees working on libraries. Well, I used to go to Milpitas library before, and I had asked her that can I give some Bhagavad Gitas, and she was happy to have 4 Bhagavad Gitas placed. So we have tons of libraries in the entire Bay Area, and we can even have an entire library team.
We need a library team.
Yeah. Because there's so much that we can actually give, because lots of people come there. That could be just one set. And also a team, I was just thinking, a team for, the festivals and, so we can have specific teams, so that way we know what we are heading to, because there's so much to be done.
Just to add something into that, when you mentioned libraries, we had a conversation with Radhika Raman Prabhu the first time that he came here. And he mentioned that there's a huge market that hasn't been touched yet in America. Let's shut off the internet for a minute. No, just kidding. And that is that textbooks. And he said by networking through the right channels in the universities, which he said he could help us with, we could actually induce various professors to order books for their classes, and sometimes they reorder thousands and thousands of books. And if we get on that chain and get on those lists, then that's where a lot of the books will go out that be used in the classes. Bali, and then Harimamsha?
So I have also 2 points. One is, as we have many contacts from the earlier book distribution and all, those who have taken Bhagavad Gita, how we can plan to sell more? In terms of when we are saying, okay, thank you, a review, that's okay. But generally we should also do promotions that, okay, you have taken Bhagavad Gita, we hope you enjoy it, then Srimad Bhagavatam is the next one. Or we should plan to give them more, just like as you mentioned, so more. So similarly, we have to sell them, hey, please take more and more and more.
That's Dayananda Prabhu had mentioned this to me years ago. He was in marketing for IBM, and he said, whenever you sell a product, you should have it connected to a suite of services. So the first thing that goes out connects to the next thing and next thing, next thing. So that should be something that we engineer every time that we sell a book, that there's, as Bali Mardan Prabhu says, it's an obvious and very compelling next step that people will take, so that brings them closer, correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. And just to, as we have the new ISB extension group right now with university youth programs and corporate home and all. So it is an opportunity right now because it is organized well, very consistent, and we have a good vision. So it will be well integrated with the Sankirtan so that they can go parallel. For example, Kirtan Meloj, we talked to Gaurav, he wants to more in Srimad Bhagavatam installation, performing the Kirtan. And in the corporate also, Damodar Prabhu is leading that one. So how we can take guidance from Mukharbinda and Shraddha Mataji so that we can also do well-organized programs there. So well integration with the ISP extension with Sankirtan going forward so that we make more effective.
Using what we already have as disparate groups to work together as one whole. Yeah. Nice. Shiva Kumar and then Harivamsha.
So this is in extension to what Harivamsha Prabhu mentioned some time back. Today we collect the email ID of all the people whom we visit, whether they take the set or not. Along with the email ID, I think we should also collect the phone numbers. The reason is we can subscribe them to the Spark WhatsApp broadcast service that will be starting soon. So we should collect the phone numbers as well.
Okay. Good idea.
2 points. One, what Prabhu mentioned, actually we started last year around September, October time frame that we should also collect their location. So that in case of when we start something, say Prashadam distribution or some added feature in the future, we know where they are located. And also company.
Are there on it? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh.
Please.
Yeah, and one more, so that was one point. Another point about the library. So we started a step-by-step phased program last, and we were in communication. Also, we had a lot of communication with Radhika Raman Prabhu, and what Gandharvika Mataji also said about ISV books. So we are trying to make something called BBT Academic, which will be completely books portfolio. It will look like Cambridge University Press, and basically everybody would be targeted there. And there is a big market connected with that, which we can explore in the future, the whole online market. And when just by sitting here, we can distribute actually thousands and maybe millions of books. That's how even Watchtower is doing. Just by sitting at one place, word of mouth and building the tribe with just a viral effect which goes. So we got a little delayed. The idea was to release BBT Academic by December marathon, but the website business, because we paid a compromised price in the sense that we wanted to test it out first. Hopefully by January or February we'll be ready with the website. And then next phase begins of targeting specific libraries and bookstores, and then corporate, and then the whole online market. So
sounds very optimistic. Damodar?
Yeah, I'll just go to my previous point. So just give a scenario and then I'll come back to the reality of it. So think of it, if we are on a product company and then we are building iPhone, say, and then we are just busy. My iPhone looks so great. It's 6 inches, 4 inches width, it's the best product, etc., etc., etc. But, until unless we look into who are the buyers, how they will interact, how will we actually make them to use our product. I think when I draw that parallel, in the whole distribution ecosystem, we are more like, the product company. We have great products and most of our energies are going into our side of the story. We need to put where, as you say, where attention goes, energy flows. Even when we are doing, I'll collect email, I'll do this thing, I'm not seeing too much of a discussion around how do we facilitate where I, being an Apple user or end customer, I come and tell my testimonial in an thing, hey, I stand in lines for 24 hours to come and grab it. I think the focus, if we can shift in more towards what's in me from a book receiver perspective. So far, I think we are building systems around, we are giving it to them, but I think we need to also think on what the receiver side is looking into and slowly cultivate. So instead of we taking a picture, sometimes people get offended. Hey, did you took my permission and all? But if they voluntarily come forward, there is a platform where they can, share, hey, I got my iPhone 6 and this is my picture. I got my Bhagavad Gita and it is great. All this, legal related things, and it will just create, in the initial it may be very slow, and we can even create a radio program, say for example monthly, where people are calling, I received Bhagavad Gita and it changed my life like that. And there are probably 4 or 5 callers from our side, and but eventually the fire will build up. And then, more and more people will be calling, like all kinds of stupid radio channels are getting so much traffic. We have the best products in the whole, so that's just a small point on that.
Thank you.
Actually, on those lines, Prabhu, the best way for us to start is, first one, we can have Facebook. We can have people go to Facebook, our page, and have them write the reviews, whoever received the books. And also, few of the people who get Srimad Bhagavatam, we are directing them to Bhakti Vriksha groups, like Fremont group, Dublin group. So, for those Bhakti Vriksha leaders, if they can follow up with those contacts and encourage them to go to Facebook and start, write a review, that will be a good place. And
concerning Facebook, I recommend that whoever's running the Facebook here contact the devotees in Juhu, because they have some system there. I interviewed them extensively. They're getting hundreds of thousands of likes in one day, every day, maybe 250,000, sometimes 500,000 likes, and they have a whole formula for how to do that. Some very specific things. So I think our team should contact them and try to get some help.
And also, Prabhu, regarding the contact collection, if you can have a group on WhatsApp group just for contacts, the devotees on Sankirtan, they can just post it there, and the team, it'll have a backup, like the team, if they missed something, because at the location it'll be easy for us to post the address, the phone number, and email.
Good idea. Very practical.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
I have many people said about having Facebook, WhatsApp, websites. The thing is that you mentioned once that making website is easy, but keeping it up to date with the content is the biggest challenge. So here in corporate, they have something called ITO, like Information Technology Officer. The guy is dedicated, who looks for the organization that how he can manage the IT. So in temples, and like our 80% crowds work in the software, and as a Silicon Valley, we can be like a role model for all the ISKCON, because I don't see any temple have this much software congregation. But the challenge I face personally is most of us don't have a time to update it regularly and build it. So if we can have like some dedicated IT officer, and we can outsource the job, like
Okay,
no, like
you're hired. Well,
so like means like Mayapur Vihari Prabhu, he told he hired some small team in India, and they keep on sending the emails, and through that he got a lot of orders. So whatever we need, we can do that, and because we need to like they said, like Balimadan Prabhu told, like if we spend a little bit money on Facebook, we can get more response. So in our whole budget, we can allocate some like few $1,000s every year just to spend on IT, Facebook, and dedicate people. That will help us to collect more, get more publicity, add more people.
I agree with that. And recently, in talking to Damodar Prabhu, I was saying, something I heard at the meeting, one thing Gopal Bhatta Prabhu said, that devotees right now are spending millions and millions of dollars on building these big temples, but practically no temple in North America has a marketing budget. What if you spent, instead of you spending $20 million on a new temple, what if you put 10% of that into a marketing budget? What kind of effect could you have on the ground where you're actually building your tribe and getting more people involved? Yeah. Please.
Maharaj, I was just thinking about since we give to the major, the first timers, the Bhagavad Gita only, if they have our contacts, how they are going to get next book? So either they contact us, but if our website has at least the next item, which is let's say top 10, which we wanted to focus. I mean, we may not have all the BBTs publishing, right? That it might be too much of a warehouse challenges or ordering issues. But if we could pick like 10 books or maybe 15 books on our website itself, it give little glimpse of that, what it is and what is it for them. And I mean, nowadays the portals are pretty easy to cut and paste. People can easily link it to a quick checkout and can order it online. That probably would be good, because somebody who said first time they wanted to get more, they don't know what is next other than the Bhagavad Gita for them. So I just thought to have our website more geared for another 10 items listed there.
We're taking 3 more, and then we're going to go through, we need some time to prioritize and then make some very targeted action plans. We have 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, put your hand up if you have an idea right now. Okay, that's it. It's closed at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So where's the mic? Okay, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up. Then whoever had their hand up now, and that's the last round. Go ahead.
So I have a quick one is, whenever we install the Srimad Bhagavatam and all, generally we are not giving the deity's picture. So sometimes Krishna Balaram temple and other guys, whenever we go, they have like calendar pictures whenever they are selling the books. So there is a whole temple is inside, including the book. So in my opinion, we should make small photograph pictures of hardbound or softbound pictures of Radha Madan Mohan, Mahaprabhu or Lakshmi Singha, and we should give to those who have bought hard books.
Maybe a ready-made altar kind of thing.
Yeah,
simple
whatever.
like that. Good, okay, done, we'll do that.
2 quick points. What Damodar Prabhu mentioned about the experience of the users, focusing at the users, the customers, I think that's here we have to very nicely leverage ISV extension system, because those are the actually experience areas, corporate experience areas, university experience areas. That's where the people will come and experience it. So I think if we come to a person, he's looking for something connected to the nearest and then connected back to the temple, so like that. And second, in my personal humble opinion, I think website should be a very big amongst the topmost item on the priority list, because before starting any business, you need to get the back end ready. The people should see you. I mean, a personal examples of ISKCON Chicago and ISKCON Washington DC. I mean, just their presence itself, just person goes on the website, he just hooked. And then we can even think of doing search engine optimization, in which person searches for Gita and Silicon Valley, he hits ISKCON Silicon Valley. So
Got it.
I think website should be topmost.
Got it. Okay, who else had their hand up previously? Srivata?
Talking about software and how software is a great way to advertise, it's a great way, but in some ways, getting a domain on the internet might be a bit costly sometimes. And I had an idea of using posters. Most people put posters in restaurants on the front door, so that the first thing people see when they walk in is a poster, and inside the restaurant we could put a smart box. And people will know what it is, and they'll be able to take a book and give a donation.
Great. We've had good success with postering before, and we could do that throughout the year rather than just Janmashtami or something like that. Who else had their hand up? Yeah.
And also, I'm just not, we have to focus on the diversion of like distributing more sets, going to new venues. Like, we exhausted many of the Fremont and this area, Bay Area, so we have to go to the traveling Sankirtan party to Sacramento or to mountain houses like that. We have to focus on that also. Or else, if we won't distribute online sales and all, it will be there, definitely good impact, but it won't, it will have a good impact. We do more Sankirtan within us and then do other things.
Yeah, it's a good point. A lot of the things that we can do, there's core and explore, we're getting 80% of the result from one place. The other part, if we put all our energy into where we're getting 20%, doesn't mean that we're going to increase overall. So we should, with our core activities, really improve also. And one of the ways is looking at new areas. Did you have your hand up? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji, SKP Prabhu was talking about the new avenues. We actually, for Kids Sankirtan, we always went to apartments because we thought it is safe and there's no traffic inside and they have a play area. But last year in Marathon, actually we went home to home in Pleasanton and San Ramon areas, and it actually was very quiet and it was very kids friendly, and we were able to have a good experience there. So that is something this year kids actually can go, and especially in those areas, those are kind of outskirts and mountain area, there are not as much traffic in the house areas in the South Bay. So devotees, that is something, we are looking to more house to house for kids, where quieter areas. And also Sridhar Prabhu also mentioned about yesterday only he mentioned about the mountain house that we should go. He had sent a text and I was thinking, what is this? And then he explained that a lot of Indians are moving there, and it will be also a very nice kids friendly area. So this year actually for kids we are also planning for home to home. So we are getting a little bit out of apartment and trying home to home, hopefully. Yeah.
Very good.
So I actually met one of my neighbors. They live nearby, and she told me that she has taken Bhagavatam when she came on the Janmashtami day to the temple, and not from me, but whichever devotees were there. But she was asking me that though we have the set, it's closed till now, the box, and she wants help with reading it. So if there are some reading groups, people who are buying Bhagavatam, they have full respect for it, but they don't know how to start it. So.
One thing is that there's online learning courses, a template for online learning. What are those things called? What's that thing we have for Bhakti Roots? Learning management system. LMS. We could make a simple learning management system for the Bhagavatam, and when people, as soon as they buy the book, then we could give them also some things that go along with it. There's also, if we packaged along with the Bhagavatam some DVD lectures that they could look at to stimulate them, like we have Yeah, DVD. Well, definitely if DVD, if he has the DVD lectures. I was thinking if we edit out some, making it into a short presentation, some of the best on the glories of the Bhagavatam and things like that, and even have some things about like, here are the parts to read and stuff like that, then, it would compel people. I think that's a good way. Are you the last one? Did you have? You're last. Okay. And then we're going to prioritize, and doesn't mean brainstorming is finished for the year, just for this morning. Go ahead.
So before I say something, this is from Manjula Kanta Mataji. I was thinking that once we give sets in a location, we can hand over after sales service to an appointed couple/Prabhu based in that area. They can note their contacts and personally visit and stay connected to them for the span of a year. Invite them to festivals, send some prasadam, start a small reading group for their kids, give them local Bhakti Vriksha contact, keep them engaged in with the Lord's books. Just a few 3 to 4 times a year keeps the contact active. And as we discussed earlier, then at the end of the year we will know which ones are ripe and who will wish to participate in doing more to spread the books and to come actively to the temple. Delegate, decentralize. That way we can do a little more and soon it will be a flood. Small thought.
Is she in marketing? Brilliant ideas coming from Manjula Kanta. Really nice. From everybody. I mean, it's been, yes. And now your idea.
Now, I was just thinking, I think this was said quite a few times about the internet and how I was listening to Gopal Bhatta Prabhu's seminar that he gave yesterday, and he was saying that how half the people in this modern day and age are on the internet. So whatever community we've built here should be built virtually on the internet so people can come there because that's where they go first. And I was just thinking, also we have Facebook, and then there's so many other social media systems, and if there's a way to integrate them all, so that if one person goes one place, they get in the loop of going like all the places. And then another thing is about the libraries, is that a few of the universities I've gone to, they all have some version of the Bhagavatam or some version of the Bhagavad Gita, but when you check them out or see them, they're all like dilapidated and finished, like been there for 50 years. And there's interlibrary loan systems where one person from one college can get a book from another college like halfway across California. So if we can have somebody does research in the library systems, then even putting one book in one library can affect the whole system.
Nice point.
One last point, Prabhu. Sorry. We also thought last time to have a qualified team. Like we go to an area, we spend many houses just to talking to them, but we thought of sending one team ahead of us, and give a calendar or a small book to qualify them. Okay, then they say, come up, these are ripe souls.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, so ripe souls, we can...
Just a friendship-making team that goes around, gives gifts, meets people, presenting books or anything like that. They just see who's friendly, right?
Yes, that's one
I
thought.
like it a lot.
And Vikas Prabhu, Nikul Prabhu, they does a lot of Bhagavad Gitas Prabhu in the Western outreach. They carry a table professionally set up in the festivals, and then they distribute a lot of Bhagavad Gitas. So we need to have a good Western outreach and integrated with Sri Kumar's Prabhu program. So that's we can think of.
Good points. Okay, we've collected some fantastic ideas. We have to stop at 9:30? 9:45? 9:40, huh? Okay, so, what? Yeah, you go ahead, take it from the top. One thing is, we don't have much time, so you have to be really efficient. I want to collect at least 7 or 10 to prioritize, and so we can't wrangle over it too much. But read through, and when you find something that you think is like really super top priority, keep in mind that we're not going to skip over any of these. Ultimately, we want to go back there and mine all of these ideas and bring them into fruition. But for now, we want to pick out some of the ones that you think are super top priority that you'd like to get started on immediately. And so when we come to that, then raise your hand, and just by vision, we'll see which ones are the most, and then you can highlight them, and we're going to try to get a series of those, and then we'll go down there and prioritize even those, and then make some action items, and we only have about 12 minutes. Okay, so go ahead, start from the very top, even the ones we had before.
The ones that came in early, Prabhu?
Came in early,
Before this meeting, whatever came in, or just the
all right, just start here, wherever you are.
We started with shipping optimization, get our own BBT truck, find a way to cut shipping costs by 25%, save through Vedavit Express Shipping, team of researchers who can look into shipping, chain supply economics. Hansapriya will look into saving using FedEx shipping. Dayanidhi Prabhu might be able to help. Crunch the shipping numbers, how much does it cost to ship one pallet? And selling through Amazon, is that an option? And A1 self-storage, once in 3 months we can drive a truck, garage spaces can store books. USPS versus UPS, BBT needs manpower. Maybe some of our people can go to BBT to help them. And localized storage options in Dublin, Fremont, etc. And Hariom Prabhu and Leena Mataji wants a Lagu Bhagavatamrita copy. IS will link on Amazon. Local ISKCON temple, I don't know what it was, I forgot, sorry. Oh, local ISKCON temples, can we ship it to them and they can take it from there? Shipping is flat anywhere we go.
I think that all those really, it's hard for everyone to raise their hand for each individual thing, but the whole point was that the team, right? How many people would like to see that as an important first quarter immediate need? Okay, so that's ratified. And just highlight the top point, which is shifting optimization and building a team. Optimization team. And use a verb. We have SOP. SOAP. Okay. All right, keep moving, but just make sure you highlight something so we catch it.
Then corporate Gita program, that how we can distribute Srimad Bhagavatam to the already big mailing lists that are there in the corporates like Cisco and other companies, and to build a tribe and send them to in the tribe. Shraddha Mataji and Mukharvinda Prabhu can help us train, and how Hansapriya took a vow to distribute 250 Gitas, and how she built the relationship over the year and reached out to them at the end of the year. So this is something to.
How about if we convene a corporate Sankirtan team meeting for individual brainstorming within the, right? Should do that, have a breakout with those devotees specifically to focus on the corporates. But that includes all the other things within it, right? So that's like the main point.
In regards to shipping, we also discussed how we need an overview of what happens at BBT. So we wanted an expert team of devotees who can make a chart on how the books are getting shipped to BBT, how are they being distributed and dispatched.
That's part of the first one.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, keep going.
Then Facebook advertisement, 2 or 3 campaigns on how we can get some money of clicks, and how to distribute books at an event by building a custom page, and how we can put stamps and bookmarks in Bhagavad Gita. I think there were some other.
I think we need it goes with that all the other points about internet, and we need a dedicated media team. And it also, if it needs investment, we'll pay for it. to make sure that the maintenance goes on in a timely way. We need a team that goes into that, so we can have a dedicated team. Yeah, and Bal Mukunda volunteered, so. Or something happened, I don't know what. Okay, keep going. But one thing is, we would like to have a world-class presence on the internet and put our full attention. See, people expect more of us here, and whenever we do any kind of a technological advance, I always get the same thing. Well, of course, you live in Silicon Valley. They almost like discount whatever we do here. It's like, yeah, we have this great innovation. Well, of course, you got it. That's natural. But I think we really should be up when it comes to the internet and all our media presentations. Okay, keep going.
So this is bhajan groups or something like building your tribe, delve into other areas like Sai, devotees, other temples, and things like that. I think it goes with building your tribe. So.
Yeah.
And we wanted to, many points were discussed about how we can hear the success stories from the receivers rather than what we sell them. So we need a venue where we can hear stories from people who receive books, short videos of Bhagavatam takers, after MSF a video or 2-minute clips of success stories, testimonial videos, and get some release form if needed from them. Written testimonials also are included in here. Then send them. Then again, next goes to, I think this is. And then from the mini festival, how we can send them a small survey of how did you like this program, what do you think was the best part. And then nectar drops, we can send simple survey every 3 months or so on how they like the book. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is...
follow-up. It's like a follow-up.
Follow-up. We need a better... Okay, follow-up for now. 2.0. We need to, I think we need, the pattern seems to be we're having breakout teams specifically and a brainstorming for each one of these. So we need to, so Harivamsha is volunteering to be part of the follow-up team, to head up the follow-up team. Yeah. And so then each one of those team members should get all these points and should fully exploit each one of them. And then bring a report back, and we'll have another meeting in the first quarter. Probably in March we can have another meeting so that we can make sure that we're taking advantage of all these things.
Actually, last year we also upgraded also the Sunday newcomers and then followed with them.
Last year integrated the Sunday program with the overall approach for follow-up, and he'll bring a report on that next time.
This is also connected to the radio thing that the team is mentioning after, so that we hear the success stories.
I don't know if it's in that section.
That's a media. That's a media section.
It's media. Comes in media. And we have a media team. We talked around about it, but, somebody, okay, 1, 2, 3, Bal Mukunda. So we have 4 devotees. I don't know if Shori is writing or she has her hand up, but she's coming, studying, this kind of things in college and all. So I think she'd be really good on the team. And obviously, other skills for developing videos and things like that. And bookmarks is in that section. Okay, so yeah, what's shaking out of this is we're developing breakout sessions with specific teams to move forward the agenda in noticeable ways. Okay, what else do we got, Malini?
We also discussed about placing books in the bookstores best. And then we also discussed about placing books in libraries as well.
So we need a team for that, right? Or we need a person who can hold that and start breaking it out. Okay, very good. Nikul has volunteered for that very enthusiastically, yes. So connect these teams. Okay. Hospitals. What?
That's it.
No hospitals. Okay. Okay, keep going. The details will work out later. Where are we, Malini?
Prabhuji, we are the events now.
Events, yeah.
Events. So we wanted to have an events team who will attend the events throughout the year rather than the beginning. And we already have a team, actually. We already have a team who will go out throughout the year, and they will focus only on events and.
And Manjula Kanta is organizing. She's the events director.
Yes. So we want to have the events throughout the year from the beginning rather than only from August.
Right now, our events focus is outbound. Just, we should also do inbound. So far our focus is outbound. Say, for example, Diwali Mela is in Cupertino, then we'll go.
Okay, for any detailed things, when we name the team, then you tell the details to the team member, to the team leader, okay? So give that to Manjula Kanta, so we got to keep moving. And I just note that Advaita Charya and Advaita Chandra and Kalasudana have entered the temple room, so please. Please, somebody run and get them a seat and make sure they're satisfied. Okay, keep going.
We Stanford University, we already covered. Library also we covered. And then the next major point is the contact follow-up.
Yes.
And this needs another breakout session where we wanted to contact with a suite of services. What's the next thing? Where can they get the next book? And how they can be integrated with the ISV extension program. And we can have Sankirtan plus extension together, collect their emails, phone numbers, etc., more information, collect their location so they can drop them prasadam. And
okay, got the idea. What's the team name, and do we already have a team that's doing that? And are these just more ideas that go into that?
we don't have a dedicated team who is doing the
What about ISKCON Connect? I thought they were the...
ISV Connect?
ISV Connect. What?
So we have a team, but the follow-up is not happening as we do, because it's a lot of, one thing is Harivamsha is doing is the nectar drops. That's the first thing. But follow-up of, numbers and distributing prasadam and things like that is not happening, because it's like multi, because devotees go in different areas. And one team is not really, cannot, manage all the locations. The team has to.
So what do we need? Local teams?
Yeah, so we need some representative from each areas who can follow up.
We need somebody to help organize that.
Yes.
So if you have a vision for how to do that, then that's the action item.
Okay, I will take.
Okay, so your team is going to split up into smaller, and we want you to go through this whole list and prioritize which things that can get done at what time, put a date, and somebody who will complete them, okay?
Okay.
I can represent for Cupertino and Santa Clara.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take Mountain home. Okay, keep going, because we got to finish in 30 seconds.
We already got website.
Okay,
and
good.
Then
website has to be the best. You have to be better than Chicago, better than Washington, D.C., and it's got to be done, huh? And it doesn't matter how much, whatever amount it takes. Yeah, you're on the team. Get on that team. Anybody who's got a fire for this, get on the team, because this is the last year for messing around with a completely insufficient presence. We have to be world class this year, okay? Whatever it takes, that's our motto, huh? Okay, all right. So move it along. Okay, next ones.
Prabhuji, we wanted to do something for along with the installation. We wanted to give them a kit with pictures of the deities and calendar.
What does that come under? What team?
Prabhuji, this is follow-up, Prabhuji. This is again follow-up.
So it goes to the follow-up team,
Yeah, follow-up.
which we have?
Which we have
We're going to have a breakout.
But there should be a separate section follow-up team for who takes Srimad Bhagavatam. So we can have sub-team within that who focuses mainly on
Yeah, I
Srimad
think Shiv
Bhagavatam
Kumar
takers.
should be on that team for sure. Just brainstorming ways to connect people in a suite of services. He's got a real genius for that, okay?
Prabhuji. And then new venues like Mountain House, Sacramento, and Kid Sankirtan wants to do house to house this year. This is actually to expand our locations.
New venues,
New venues.
is a big thing, and that should be, SKP should like head that up. Okay? Let's expand our surface area and get more new areas this year, okay?
And then next is help with reading Srimad Bhagavatam for newcomers. This is the online learning, LMS, that we wanted to do, like a place where they can go get a suite of lectures, like DVD lectures or
Does
something
it fit
like
under a
that.
team, or is there a new team needed?
This could be a...
Sukeshwari's about to raise her hand.
No, I was just thinking that when we have people taking Srimad Bhagavatam sets, many of them just get together and read while we have a conference
Yeah.
call and things
Yeah,
like that.
that's
So
the
we can
best.
set up something like that.
We can?
Yeah.
How?
We actually do have a couple calls that we do around the country at this
Could you
moment. we didn't get the
codify it?
Charitamrita.
Could you put it in, make it
Yeah.
into an institution? Would you head that up?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sukeshwari can do.
That's very important, this individual care for people. You know, there's internet and all these other kinds of things and nectar drops, but when you actually go with people and you become part of their lives, that is the number one top way. Yes.
Yes, also adding to that is that the chat could be the extension of that.
Yes.
Where people,
Everything that we have can be modified and presented to people so that they can start their own spiritual life in their homes. I'll this whole today and tomorrow with the experts that are here.
Prabhuji, another important point on follow-up is follow-up on the part payments, right? Today we offer sets for installments to devote people.
Oh, absolutely. That has to be top on the list this year.
We don't follow it up and we don't
Time
know.
payments.
Yeah.
Okay. We need all the best solutions possible for time payments. Maybe IT, maybe having a good collection agent. Okay.
I think...
That's it. Okay, so we got started. I think what we'll do is because these are very important sessions, somewhere in March, I think we should get together again. Put that down to schedule something in March for an ongoing. And the last word is coming from our up-and-coming, one of the up-and-coming leaders of our kids' Sankirtan team, Adwait. He's here. What do you got for us?
So with the follow-up team, can a few of the kids make the kits to give to the people
Yeah.
who will receive the...
Definitely. The kids, I
Srimad
think this is the
Bhagavatam.
year of the kid. Let's come together. The kids should brainstorm, systems and follow up that are unique and help. Hear from your other co-superstar here. Go ahead.
So I had an idea of how kids Sankirtan, we should have kids should divide up into many teams, like Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra team, and whichever team distributes the most books gets like extra plate of prasadam or something, and
Go for something like a new car or something.
and
Okay,
that'll-
well, that's good.
that-
Get it down. Yeah.
that'll cause everyone to participate in.
Good. Okay. So thank you very much for everyone for participating. And
Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman, hey, Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman.